We are at the AI summit here in New Delhi, and 20 heads of states, several ministerial delegations have arrived here. There are, of course, talks on the safety and regulations, but also how new strides could be made in AI. Europe is playing a significant role in that, and joining us exclusively here on NDTV is the Deputy Prime Minister of Sweden, Ebba Busch. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us here. I want to begin by asking you about your visit to India and the AI summit. What are your thoughts? It's been just a few hours that you've been here, but what are you looking forward to?
Well, for me, it was a given to come here to New Delhi, to come to India. And I think it's not a coincidence that we are seeing that India is now holding, first time ever in the global south, is now chairing and holding this global AI summit. And it is very much thanks to the leadership that we have seen from Prime Minister Modi, and the way he's also pointing out the direction for AI coming from man and serving the greater good of humanity. And I think there is also where we can build on the relationship between India and Sweden, between the European Union and India as well.
You know, AI is the theme, and India is looking at Global South also partnering in a great way. Apart from that, innovation, science and technology are some of the key areas where Sweden and India are collaborating as well. What are you looking forward to in the new innovations and India's scale? And India's innovations also playing a role in this?
Of course. And I mean, I must say, I'm impressed to see India moving so fast in so many areas at the same time now. And I think if you look at Sweden, we're number 1, 2, or 3 in many global rankings when it comes to innovation. Mm-hmm. So we're, a knowledge-hungry people, and we are always looking to partner up with others who want to solve complex problems. And the Indian people and India is definitely such a partner. And now with the free trade agreement between the European Union and India, just fresh off the table, I see that there is a way to renew that relationship as well. Sweden also has a long-standing partnership with India that we are looking forward to be able to maybe also update related to AI issues.
You know, over the last 1 year, there has been a turbulence. One, the conflicts down on ground, but also economic turbulence in many ways. The global tariffs policy that has been spoken about, but that has pushed India and EU together. I mean, a deal that was being spoken about and negotiated for over 2 decades, finally materializing. What were your thoughts when you saw the EU leadership here in New Delhi finally making it happen? Although there are some technical legalities that are to follow for perhaps a few months. But how does Sweden look at this entire FTA, the entire gamut of trade between India and the European Union?
No, but we were celebrating finally. It was a truly big day, and let's also be clear that this free trade agreement is more than just trade. It's a matter of bringing both the 4th largest economy in the world and the 2nd largest market with the European Union together. That those are 2 very, very strong entities, but it's also a matter of building value relations that can last for generations. And I think in turbulent and difficult times when we are seeing the tectonic plates of the world shifting from a geopolitical perspective, Sweden, Europe, we're choosing our friends, our allies, our partners very wisely. And Sweden is definitely choosing India for a reason. So for us, this trade agreement means much more than trade. It's a matter of building for the future, building for the celebration in 2047 here in India. It's also building for the next generations, for my 2 children back home in Sweden.
Of course. You know, staying with AI, one of the topics that has been a top priority for all the countries has been safety as well as regulations. It's a huge debate in the European Union where a legislation was brought in as well in this direction. It's a huge debate in US, in our part of the world as well. So how do you see regulations playing a significant role? Where does the government step in this direction? And who really decides where the red line could be drawn?
That is the big question. And for me, I mean, also, once again, speaking as a mother, safety online is fundamental. And we need to balance that out. So we see some countries who have been highly digitalized for a long time are now having to roll back and set quite tough boundaries. But on the other hand, I'm challenging Europe and saying we need to see European leadership now that dares to regulate the overarching goal rather than thinking we can micromanage something that is moving so fast as AI is moving. Because or else we might be left on the platform once the train is moving. And here I turn to India for inspiration because India is moving at such speed now. It took 7 years for internet to be fully rolled out in many parts of the world. But when ChatGPT was rolled out, it took around 2 months for people to catch on. So things are moving much faster here. We need to find a different way to do regulatory framework, to do lawmaking that doesn't hold back this innovation and this technology rollout that we also need, but regulate the overarching goal.
One significant question for Europe has been the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. It's almost 4 years now. There have been several attempts made at peacemaking, but what is the role that Sweden would like to play and would want India to play? Because Indian Prime Minister has said that this is not an era of war. Solutions cannot be found in the battlefield. He's condemned the kind of death and destruction that we have seen in Ukraine. What is the roadmap forward?
I mean, keeping the long-term support for Ukraine for as long as it is needed is one of the top priorities when it comes to foreign policy for the Swedish government and for my Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, and will stay firm behind the Ukrainian people and their freedom fight for as long as it takes, because they're not only fighting for their own freedom, their own sovereignty, they're also fighting for the rest of the countries in Europe the way that I see it. But we will do whatever it takes to push for a peaceful way forward. But that cannot be negotiated without Ukraine. That cannot be negotiated without Europe and the European Union present at the negotiation table.
We hope that peace actually returns to Ukraine quickly. Before I let you go, looking forward to meet the Prime Minister and the other global leaders. What would be your quick message on AI and otherwise at the AI Impact Summit?
Well, first of all, welcome to Sweden. Sweden is open for business. We have around 300 companies present here in India. Indirect, we provide around 2.5 million job opportunities here in India through Swedish companies. We'd like to do more of that, but we'd also like to see more investments in Sweden, and not least in particular in the area of industry and healthcare when it comes to innovation and AI.
Well, Deputy Prime Minister, thank you very much for joining us here on NDTV.
Super.
Appreciate it. Well, that was
well
the
done with
Deputy
the
Prime
weather.
Minister who was speaking to NDTV here in New Delhi on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit. Sweden playing a critical role along with India in this gamut of collaboration on AI, technology and innovations partnership. Reporting from Delhi, this is Aditya Raj Kaul for NDTV.